All right, I am Stephanie Keel. I am the marketing director at the Art Center of Kershaw County, and we have a very exciting virtual production coming soon. It will be in 4 different episodes, 4 acts, and the title is The Importance of Being Earnest. Tonight, we have Miss Katie Mixon, and we're just going to chat a little bit about her life, the show, COVID, how things have sort of been so different this year than any other year. So hi, Katie. If you don't mind, would you kind of just tell us a little bit about yourself? Where are you from? Who are you?
Sure, I'll do my best to share who I am. I am from Columbia, South Carolina. I grew up here. I went to the University of South Carolina, and then I went to drama school at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Arts, and absolutely fell in love with England and London and studying classical theater. But I also have always had a love and a passion for conservation science. So my other degree is actually in zoo animal science. So I worked at Riverbank Zoo for a while, and then I started to get the travel bug. So I've traveled and worked in Australia, Thailand, Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam, working with actually Asian elephants and students, trying to teach them about conservation. So I have two completely different passions that are animal conservation and education and theater. And
Wow, that is
yeah.
amazing. That is so amazing. I did not know that about you. So, having those sort of like 2 different sides, I know a lot of times actors sort of, people who are artistic, they kind of, actors can sing, or maybe they are also visual artists, or they play an instrument. Does any of that apply to you in your life, either within this world or your other one?
Um, Maybe I am not very musical. Funnily enough, I cannot carry a tune. It's horrible. My tutor when I was at Lambda used to just say, "Hey, you want to go get a pint at the pub?" because it was that bad. I would act my way through the song. So I'm not very musical, although I've sang in several shows, but it's never been a character that's supposed to have a good voice. I think my other I love classical theater, which I consider that Shakespeare or Renaissance. Definitely the importance of being earnest. I would combine in that classical theater realm. But then I also love getting outside and getting dirty. So that's kind of like my other half.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. So what is your number one favorite production as an actor that you have performed in?
Ever in my whole life.
If you had to choose, which one would you choose?
Oh wow.
I know, it's hard.
Um. Okay. I'm not gonna say the Scottish play, because it's bad. Sometimes it can be bad luck if you say the actual name. But I love Shakespeare, and my first Shakespeare show ever was the Scottish play in 1999. I played a witch, and then 20 years later, I got to do the Scottish play again, but this time I played Lady Macbeth, and
Oh, wow.
it was amazing to have that kind of circle, you
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
Yeah, I loved it. I came back from Thailand just to do the show, and it was special.
That's awesome. I think there's definitely like when you feel a tie to a certain play, production, show, song, anything, when something comes full circle like that, as an artist, as a performer, I just think that's so incredible.
Thanks.
So since we kind of touched on your favorite production, what about an actor? Either living or dead. Who is your who is your the person who inspires you the most?
Oh, wow. I have a new answer for that, and I her name was Charlotte, but if you oh, this is a new thing for me. There was an actor in the 1800s. Her name was Charlotte Cushman, and she was actually famous being a woman, but playing men parts on stage, roles that typically went to males. She actually played Romeo while her sister played Juliet. And this woman
Wow.
was like breaking barriers and not taking no for an answer. She's like, oh, a woman can't play that part, well, then I'm gonna do it. And I love that idea, that power that she
Mhm.
had, and that gumption, to just try anything that she wanted to. So that is my current new actor. Like, I'm a fan. I'm a fangirl of her right now, trying to learn more about her.
That's so cool. So when you were a kid, did you participate in plays like in your local theater, in school? Were you a theater kid?
You know what? I was not.
So you sort of did you find out that you kind of loved this later in life, or
Yeah,
was
I
there a
came.
pivotal moment? Like when did you really feel the bug that like I want to be on stage?
I think I felt that bug when I was young, but I didn't know what to do with it, and I really didn't know what it meant. Um, no one in my family is theatrical. My mother's a visual artist, and my father is a baseball coach. So I those are my kind of two
Mhm.
avenues for how to express myself, was through sports or through visual arts. I really didn't know that this world of theater existed until I got to college. And truthfully, the pivotal moment is I was a cheerleader. That was my whole goal in life, was to be a cheerleader, and I hurt myself. I herniated 2 discs in my back, and
Oh my
that
God.
pathway was gone for me. And I didn't know what to do with my whole life. I didn't know what to do. I was at the University of South Carolina thinking I'm going to be a cheerleader. I'm going to study education to become a teacher and a cheerleading coach. And then that wasn't a path that I could try anymore. Um, but I had a theater class as an elective,
Hmm.
and my every a lot of people probably recognize her name. She's big in South Carolina theater scene. Monica White was my TA, and she told me, because I was struggling in school, and she said, "Hey, if you go to this audition, then I will give you a on a quiz or something like that." So I went, and I was looking around like, "Oh my gosh, these people are having so much fun. They're doing this thing that I've always had inside of me that I wanted to try, and they're doing it, and they're working together as a team." I love teamwork of theater. Ah, I
Yeah,
love it.
it's like
I've
a
missed it.
family.
Mhm.
100%. That's so cool. So knowing your background now and kind of just hearing that, we have a lot of kids who come to the art center and they audition for shows, and sometimes they get roles, and when they get a lead role it's a big deal, but there are also so many kids who are afraid to try new things. They're kind of afraid to get out in front of people. Do you have any advice that you would share with someone who sort of felt like, you know, from an audience point of view, I want to be on that stage. I want to try that, but I'm terrified. What would you tell that person?
I would say, if you have even an inkling of interest or curiosity about this, then just try it, because theater people are very welcoming. We can
Yeah.
seem a little intimidating sometimes, but we are very welcoming, and theater is a team sport. It is. And you can have just as much fun playing third tree from the left as you can playing the king. And that is where, like, behind the scenes is where you make a lot of friends, and you can find your own little pathway through the theater. I auditioned and was scared to death. Um, and I was just cast as like random servant, right? But you have so much fun sitting in on the rehearsals, and you start to learn just from being there and being around, and keeping your ears and eyes open, and it's fun. So yes, I completely 1000% understand that it is scary to do something that different than what you're used to, but theaters, especially nowadays, are such safe, welcoming places that, we welcome people in, and we bond really quickly, and you make friends. So just take a deep breath and just go through that first audition, and then it just keeps getting better and easier.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. So that kind of leads me to another sort of area of COVID. This has been such a difficult year for the arts. Obviously, theater in particular, who knows when Broadway is going to open, but somehow you guys have continued on your mission of creativity. So has that helped you sort of deal with COVID? Do you feel like you're filling a void by participating in this show? I mean, could you talk about that a little bit,
Sure.
just as someone who is really sort of tapped into this world, not being able to have this world for a few months and then have to, get creative and figure it out. What has that been like?
Yes. So much everything you just said. Um, it's been scary. I'll be
Yeah.
honest. It has been scary and lonely at times, especially when you are a person who gets energy from creating with others.
Mhm.
Um, it it's it can get lonely, but I am so grateful because I'm grateful for this opportunity and for opportunities like this. Like, we didn't give up. As a community, we did not take no for an answer, and we did not give up. Someone told us no, for basically, and we said, "All right, we can't go that way. Well, I'm going to go this way, and I'm going to get the same goal and meet those same missions all along the way. Like, challenge us, artists will find a way to do it, right? You know?"
Yes, I love that. I love it. So how has it been from, like, what's the transition been like from stage to literally Zoom? I mean, here we are, you're in costume, you have your set behind you. I mean, how has that worked for you? How has it been? And obviously it's completely different, but I mean, you're making it work. You guys are figuring it out.
I'm making it
How?
work, but it has been so difficult. I am not a technical person. Like, I'm not joking. Um, Before, like when I lived in Thailand, seriously, we didn't have electricity half the time. We didn't have air conditioning. Like, I had
Wow.
like and I was okay. It wasn't great, but I was okay. So, like, technology frightens me. So I've had to take a huge leap in my understanding of stuff, but that's where, like, the teamwork comes in, because Richard and Frank, and the other Frank, we all, like, really uh, supported each other. And
Mhm.
literally, sometimes you have to lean on your friends, which is harder when you can't be there in person, but you get online and you talk through it and you figure it out. So I've had to really up my technology game and knowledge. I've had to order a bunch of stuff off Amazon. Like, I have this light thing, and it came in the mail, and I'm like, what is this? What am I supposed to do with this? do I do, I don't know.
This
So
is this is behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen. The
it's
the
a lot of education. It's a lot of education. And at the same time, I also I teach I teach a youth Shakespeare group, and we were meeting in person, and then all of a sudden I've got to teach them through Zoom. I don't even know what Zoom is, and they're doing the virtual backgrounds. I'm like, how are you in San Francisco? I don't understand what's happening.
it's like a whole other universe almost.
Yes, it is. I mean, I see them, and I think we're talking about a passage of Shakespeare, but they're like typing furiously, and then I realize, oh my God, there's a chat box. It's like the virtual way of passing a note.
So, what is your role and why should people tune into this show?
This is one of my dream roles, I'll be honest. I worked on this when I was at when I was in drama school. We worked on a scene from this play, and you guys are making this come true for me. Thank you so much. I'm playing Miss Gwendolyn Fairfax, and she is full of determination and passion, and she will get what she wants. She is going to find and marry this man, Ernest. However, she has to go about doing it, and she gets to, like, wear really cool clothes and do her hair very nice as well at the same time.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being in this production. Thank you for supporting the arts. Thank you for continuing on the mission despite how difficult it has become. Bravo. And thank you for taking the time to chat.
Thank you.